Hello, hello, crafty friends. Happy Saturday. Happy first Saturday of April. I am just getting set up. I want to make sure that I am live, which I am. And I'm just going to give it a minute to see if anybody will join me live. I am right on time here, just a minute earlier. I am so excited to be playing with Ocean Friends. This is a great set. First, let me introduce myself. Welcome to my monthly card class. My name is Stacy. I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I cannot believe it's going to be a year next month. I was a prior Close to My Heart demonstrator, but then we had moved over to Stampin' Up! Last May. So this is my 11th class. I'm so excited. And next month's going to be my 1-year class. So I'm super excited about that. But anyway, I do this monthly. I find a bundle that's a new product from Stampin' Up! And then I create a card class for it. And I bring it to you virtually the first Saturday of every month at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So how can you craft and create this kit? There's two ways. You can either pick this kit up on my website. I now have a website, craftydivausa.com. You can go there and find all my tutorials, instant download right to your inbox. Or I do have some of my card kits there that you can purchase that you can purchase and get the card kit on its own. Or if you want to make a purchase with me, if you place a $50 product only order before shipping, tax, and any Stampin Rewards, you will earn this free and I will ship it right out to you. You don't have to use any host codes or anything. I'll see your order come in and I'll ship it to you. What you will receive is a package to create 4 cards. Everything will be pre-cut and ready for you to assemble. You'll have a PDF tutorial, nice color tutorial that you can download. Here's the little QR code that'll link you back to this video so you can just fast forward through all the chatter and get to the cards. It's going to have your supply list and it's going to have your cutting dimensions, and then it will have your assembly instructions. So if you do not want to go back and watch the video, you'll have everything to create the class. And these are the cards. I love these cards. I really, really do. So first, let me tell you about the products that I'm going to feature in this card class, and then we'll jump right into it. And if you're watching me here live on Facebook, please say hi. I'd love to give you a shout out. And if you are catching me on the replay on YouTube, I super appreciate you. Hit subscribe. You'll follow me for all my card classes. Like I said, I do this virtually the first Saturday of the month, and then I do an in-person card class the second Saturday of the month. If you are located in the Brevard County, Florida area, make sure to hit me up and I'll give you all the information to that. I hold a card class the second Saturday of every month at the Satellite Beach Rec Center. So, all right, so some of the products, where is my tutorial? So I can tell you everything that I used here. So this is the Friends of the Ocean card class, and here is the photopolymer stamp set along with the thin cuts. So you'll be happy to know I used in this class every stamp but 2. So I did not use that little coral stamp, which you could, and I did not use the Love You stamp, but everything else is already set up on my block. So I do use pretty much all the stamps. Here's the thin cuts. Love these thin cuts. So you got that great coral. You have 3 little starfish. You have some seagrass, a lobster, a crab, and you have this water line. And what's great about this set, some sets, the dies work with the DSP. So I did not do that in this class, but I do want to show you. So I'm just going to pull these 2 dies out just for a moment. Let me keep going on to the rest of the items that I'm featuring in this class today. So Sunny Dots, these are the Sunny Day Iridescent Dots, 164696. These are currently unavailable right now, but I do love them, so make sure when they come back you pick them up. I am bringing into this card kit the Perennial Postage Dies, 162607. They're still available. This is a great set, so I used 2 of these for my sentiments. And then part of this entire suite is the Soft Waves 3D embossing folder. Look at the waves that makes. So we're going to use that. And then here is the DSP. So I didn't use a lot of the DSP in this card class today, but I'm going to tell you, this is my heart. This color palette speaks my love language in the crafting world. So I just went on a trip to the Keys, and I'm going to be making a scrapbook. I'm going to a crop the end of the month, and I did pick up a few extra packs of this paper, and I'm going to be scrapping my Keys trip. Hey mom, how you doing? All right, so these are the papers. You get 6 12 by 12 designer series paper and 2 of each. So I don't want to make anyone dizzy, but I'm first going to show you the one side and then flip them over. Every pattern of this paper is great. And then I'll bring those thin cuts in, those dies, and I'll show you, I'll explain to you a fun trick. So here's one of the pages. Here's another. This has like waves. It goes down like an ombre. Love this one. Look at this. Look at these colors. They are great. Hi, Janice. How you doing? Here we go. That's the last one. And then this one. This is the one I'm going to stop at before I show you the other side of the DSP, because this DSP in particular, if you don't have the stamp set, and say you only picked up the dies and you don't want to stamp, look at this, the lobster. You can die cut the lobster out, and you can also die cut the crab out. So you can make your own die cut pieces using this designer series paper. And a lot of thin cuts do that, so you have to make sure you know. So let me show you the other side. So here is this pattern. That one. Sorry, the sun is super shiny here in Florida. We are having a great weekend, so I might have some glare. That one, and then this one. So you got lots of shapes and then some designs on the front. So let me tell you the colors here. So in this palette, we have Berry Burst, Calypso Coral, Lemon Lime Twist, Melon Mambo, Pumpkin Pie, and Summer Splash. And I kind of used pretty much all the cardstock colors and a little bit of the DSP. So let me move this out of the way. I want to bring in my iPad real quick just to show you that if you go online to Stampin Up's website, to my shopping site, and in the search, if you just put ocean, that's going to give you all of the items. You guys, these items were just placed on last chance. They have not been decreased yet in the cost. When it gets to like super low quantity, they may change the price, but if not, they're on last chance, which means once it's gone, it's gone. So if you want this set, you have got to pick it up now. The stamp set is still available, so you can get the bundle with the stamp and the thin cut, or buy the thin cut separately. The DSP is still available, as well as the 3D embossing folders. The only thing not available from this collection are those Sunny Day Dots, but I'm sure they will come back. All right, I'm going to get all this out of the way. I went on for about 5-6 minutes just going over the product, and now we're going to get straight away into creating these cards. And the ink pads that I'm using, again, love these. I'm using Calypso Coral, Coastal Cabana, Crumb Cake, Melon Mambo, and I'm actually on my 4th card, this card right here. I'm not going to emboss today. This is optional. You can emboss. I'm just going to stamp that just for sake of time on the video. So I am going to use Early Espresso as well, just for card 4. So I'm going to bring that in as well. But here are the cards. Look at these cards. Love them. This is card 1. We're going to do some second generation stamping. We're going to do a little bit of ink blending, and we're going to cut up the coral here. So lots of fun little elements. Again, we're going to do some blending. Love that. I think I did the inside here. Yep, just a little simple inside there. Card 3, loving that. So this is summer. What color is this? This is the 2024 color. It came out of the glitter pack, Summer Splash. I believe it's Summer Splash. Love that glitter paper. So this is card 4, and that's that perennial die. I used it here, and I used it here on this card for my sentiment. And then here is card 4. There's that great 3D wave embossing folder. And then here is the wave die, and I just love how the little crab's leg is back there. So really cute cards, loving these. Again, you can go to my website, craftydiva.usa.com. You'll have all my tutorials and kits there, or you can earn this kit for free by shopping with me, placing an order on my website. So we're going to start with card 1. Let me get all these out of the way. Card 1. Okay, let me bring in my pieces. So each of my cards, I'm going to try to sit today. Each of my cards have the same technique, right? So I'm not going to keep doing the technique over and over. I'm going to stamp with you the lobster and crab on card 1, and then my other cards, I already had gone ahead and stamped them and cut them out, because once you see it done once, you'll know how to do it. It is very, very easy to work. So let me just make sure I have everything out of my way. I need my embossing folder. I'm going to need my dots. And actually, I need all of this. So we're just going to put this back here. Okay, so let me get all of my bits and pieces out. And again, your directions, your cutting diagrams, everything is in your tutorial. So I'm not going over that here. This is just for assembly for anybody who does pick up my card kit or the tutorial only. And also, I wanted to mention, demonstrators, you can pick up my tutorial. They're $10. Everything, again, is on my website. And once you purchase, it's an instant download. You don't have to wait for me to send it to you or anything. Okay, so here are my pieces. I created a card. I'm not going to sit. I'm going to stand. So again, this is going to be easy to put together. So I'm going to get all this out of the way. What I want, did I cut out? Where is my, I feel like I'm missing something. Hold on. Where is my little, I know I cut it out because I just did everything. Oh, here it is. Look at that. This is that perennial postage I did for my sentiment. Here's the great coral. Look at that. Look at the design in that. Love that. And this is that lemon lime twist cardstock. This is going to be for stamping. We're going to stamp on here, and I just have some scrap if I need some extra. Okay, so we're going to get everything out of the way. We're going to do our stamping. So we want this, and we want our scraps. So I'm going to bring in, let me get my inks. I need Calypso Coral and my Melon Mambo. We're first going to start out just with our stamp. So I'm going to take my Thanks So Much and a blending brush. And all I'm going to do is I'm first going to stamp Thanks So Much in the middle. And then I'm just going to use some scrap. Let me get an extra piece of scrap here. Okay. I like to just tap off like the excess ink just so I can get a little bit of a blend, like a light shade. That's all I want. So all I'm going to do is just lightly kind of go over my words here, just to give it a little, just a little dimension, right? Nothing crazy. That is all. All right. So how do you do these stamps? All right. So you do get the outline of the crab, and then you get the body of the crab. So what you're going to do is you're going to stamp your body first. Okay. Then we're going to do second generation with this. We're going to ink up our crab. We're going to stamp it on scrap paper and then stamp it down. And that's going to give us that dimensional look. Actually, the crab is in Calypso Coral, so let's do that. And then we'll do the lobster. We'll use this for scrap. I think I can fit both of them there. Okay, so all you're going to do is you're going to stamp up your crab. Okay. Oh, am I going to fit my lobster? No, I should have did it separate. Stacy. Oh, will I fit it here? Well, I'm gonna have to get a piece. Hold on, I already have something cut. Oh, white cardstock. Let me just grab my white a moment. Sorry about that. Okay. So now you're going to come in with the solid one. You're going to ink that up. Okay. You're going to stamp it on some scrap. Okay. And then I have to bring this closer to me. You're going to line it up. I have to bring it a little closer so I can see. And it's very easy. If you can see that, it's very easy to line up. So you just kind of, this is hard because I'm a little behind it. Isn't that cool? So look. All right. Let's see if I can fit my lobster. Maybe I will. Okay, so we first got to do the outline. Yeah, I will. We're going to do the same thing with our melon mambo and the lobster. So we're going to start with the outline body. Going to ink that up. All right, now we're going to come in with, I gotta switch blocks here. One second while I switch my blocks. Okay. Now we're going to come in with the body. And again, we're going to ink this up. All right, we're going to do a stamp off. And now we're going to come in. I love this. Look at how awesome that is. Okay, so now, because I didn't have this prepped, I need to die cut this a moment. Let me clean up my area. I'm just going to run this through my electronic die machine that I have. I'm going to bring in my my Stampin' Up one when I do the 3D embossing folder. I'm not going to be able to fit both dies, so I'm going to have to do one at a time. 1 second. I'm sorry for the noise. All right, so there's our crab. Let me do this lobster. And I personally love lobster and love crab. Okay. Let's do this second one. So we're not going to do this again. I did this with you one time to show you how to create these. We are going to stamp a crab one more time, but we're not going to have to die it out. That's just going to be for the inside. So let me move all this away, out of our way here, so I can get back going. Okay, so we have our dies, we have everything, and our pieces. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to layer these two pieces together. All right, so let's do that. I hear someone's music outside. They might be doing some gardening. Okay, so you just want to line those two up, and then we're just going to adhere this straight down to our card. Super easy. Getting used to using this Stampin' Seal. Okay, so just on our card front, making sure you leave that 1/4 inch exposed. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to take that coral. I'm going to cut my coral in 3 places, and I'm going to show you why. Because this is just the one piece of coral, so we're going to outline it halfway on 2 sides, and then this is popped up. So we're just going to attach it to the back. So where I cut this is I kind of did one here, and then I cut right there. So I have 3 pieces of coral now. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and put them just on the back here. Just like this. So see how and you can tape that. However you want to get that stuck down, I think I'm going to tape it. I think tape's going to work best for me. So if I put that like that, let me get a piece of Scotch tape. Let's see how this looks. I think I did it with my adhesive on my first card. Yeah, that is perfect. Actually, I want to bring this, I'm going to bring this piece down a little bit. I want it right there. It was a little far away. I want it kind of connected to it. So I'm going to bring that. Yeah, that's perfect. I want that one right there. Scotch tape to the rescue. Okay. Perfect. Now I'm going to line this one how I want it. I think that's perfect. Let's turn it over. Okay. Let's see how we did. Love it. Okay. So now we're just going to put some foam on the back of this. You know what? I'm going to use my foam tape. It's quicker when I do classes. I just have long pieces of foam tape. Okay, so now all we're going to do is put this in the center of our card. And then our lobster's going to go there. Our crabby's going to go there. So now, if you notice, this has a little dimension to it. So I have to make that even with my lobster. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to put dimensional on this portion of him, and then maybe a little bit of adhesive. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just do a little adhesive. And then I'm going to do, let me use my dots for this. I think it was one there and then one here. You'll see what I mean. Okay. I need a little bit more glue down here. Trying to find the areas that it's touching. Okay, I think that's good. And take your backing off. Perfect. I need a little piece right under there. Let's see if I can cut a little piece off here. Just doing a little surgery just because this piece right here should have had a little. Perfect. Okay. Now for our crab, same deal. Only this side is going to need foam, and then this side will tape straight down. So I'll just put a little tape here so I know that. And I think it was, let me see how much of his body. So cute. Now we are going to take this little starfish. I'm going to put it down here. And then I'm going to take my Sunny Day dots, get a few of the Calypso Coral. Should we do the smaller ones? Yeah. These are like more medium. One here. One up here. And since we moved our starfish, I don't want to put it right there because then that looks weird. So I'm going to put it up there. Okay. So here's our card. Card 1 is finished. Let me clean up a little bit while I leave that there for you to take a look at. And I will clean up so I can move on to card 2. I hope you enjoyed using this set as much as I do. Seriously, how cute is that? Who wouldn't want a card like that? I went a little over on my blending there, but this I think is my most beautiful one out of the 2, but there you go. Okay, so we are going to move this and go on to card 2. Okay, I love this card too. All right, so I'm going to be needing, oh, we're going to stamp a crab again. Let's make sure I have my crab cleaned off from before. Let me just clean it because I don't know. I had a different color. Just make sure my crab is cleaned. Thanks, Susan. All right, here's our card. We're going to do some inside stamping. This is from my stash, and the sentiment is from my stash as well. If you remember, last year I did have a card class on the Seaside Wishes, so I used that stamp set. There's the little die I used, and I also used that sand stamp on my 4th card. So if you do pick up my card kit, you would just use different sentiments that you have in your stash if you didn't have that card kit. And don't forget your envelopes, and don't forget the inside of your cards. Like that last card, we didn't stamp the inside, so make sure you do. All right, so here's our crab. I went ahead and created that already. We did that. We have some of the seagrass cut out. We have our coral again. We're going to do some paper tearing here to make like some waves, okay? That's optional. You can use the thin cut, but I have 2 pieces here. We're going to do that. And then a piece of white for the inside and the outside. So we need both of our whites. Let's pull those out and do our stamping first, and then we'll get to do some paper tearing. Okay, so let's do the inside. We're just going to stamp thanks so much, and we're going to create that crab again. So here is, we're going to use Melon Mambo for the crab, and thanks so much is in Calypso, Coastal Cabana. But another thing, I have to clean this because I did use it on my last one. So let me clean. Thanks so much. Okay. Crab. Oh, and I do have some blending on the back. So let's do that first. Let's take some of the Coastal Cabana. I definitely need scrap. And it just looks like right here, I just blended a little bit in the corner. Again, just for a little bit of depth. That's it. So you can see that. Let me bring it higher so you can see. Okay. And we are going to stamp, since we have this color out, where did I just put thanks so much? Let's put that right in the top there at the center. All right, and we're going to make our crabs. So Melon Mambo, get your outline first. I have it sideways. And then take your body. We need our scrap. You're going to stamp once off and then do that second generation. And you just line it up. I hope I do it right because I'm looking over my, I'm off. I'm looking over my camera. Not so bad. Okay. But you obviously will do it a little better. Y'all know me. I'm like my own worst critic when I'm crafting. I think it's fine. But see how I was over a little bit? No big deal. Okay, that is the inside. So now I'm going to bring my card base in just to not lose pieces on my desk and adhere that straight away so it's down. What happened? okay? Inside of our card is finished. So we're going to take that other white layer for the front here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my sentiment in the corner. I'm going to bring back in my Coastal Cabana. I'm going to stamp right here in the upper corner. I'm sorry, you guys. I got to bring this into me. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm going to mess up all my cards, and I don't want to do that. Okay. Now, okay, so next I'm going to come back in with my blending brush. So if you can see, let's look at this card. I'm going to put the waves we're going to paper tear right there, but then I kind of want the ink coming up just lightly from where the crab's going to go. So try to imagine where your crab's going to go. So I would probably start blending here and just kind of go up, right? Not all over. I just want to kind of stay in one area. So let's just bring in scrap. Okay, and it's going to be covered down here. I should have probably had scrap under me because I'm going to start off my paper. Okay, so I'm kind of starting here. I think that's probably good. Okay. So see how it comes off and it kind of goes up a little bit? Okay. If you want a little more off to the side, I think that's good. Okay, now I'm going to take those bubbles and I'm just going to stamp some random bubbles. Okay, that should be good. Actually, let's put some, because you don't know where it's gonna like land. So we'll put one in the bubble. We can put one like behind the grass. Okay, that's good. I think that is all the stamping for now. Yes. Okay. So now what you want to do is you're going to take, well, first let's grab our seagrass and our coral. And we're going to start to set this up. Then we'll get to the paper tearing. So how this is, actually we're going to do the waves first. My bad. Let's get to our waves. So as you can see, you have a piece of coastal coral, Coastal Cabana that is 2 different sizes, okay? Because we're going to layer these together to make like a wave effect. So all you want to do is take either one you're going to start with. What I do is where I'm going to start tearing, I kind of like push my nail in. So you see that right there? And you want to tear towards you when you're tearing so that you have the ripped paper effect. Because if you tore the other way, you're not going to get that. So you're going to hold it there and you're going to start ripping. Okay? So that's what I mean. See how I'm getting that rip? If I teared it the other way, it would look like that. You're not going to get that rip because what you can do is you can ink the top of here. Okay, so all you want to do is kind of just tear. And I'm going up and down a little to make a little bit of a wave effect. Okay, just like that. And what I mean about inking is if you want, then you can, use a darker ink. I didn't ink this, but what people do is then they just ink the top and you can certainly do that, but that gives you a little bit of a wave. So we're going to do the same thing on this smaller one. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to dig my nail in and then I just start ripping. Perfect. Okay, so now that I have 2 of them, I can layer them on top of each other and I now look like I have a water effect, right? So that's kind of cool. So this is going to now go down onto our card base. But what we want to do is leave a little bit of space here. A little bit of space here. Don't put adhesive because I want to tuck the starfish in there. So just right there, I'm not going to put it. So I'm basically just going to put a strip of adhesive just along the bottom there. Okay, and then I'm going to layer these 2 together. They are the exact same dimension, so you just layer them together. So now I could take my starfish and tuck it in there. Okay, I'll put adhesive on the back, but that's why I didn't put adhesive there. And we're going to do the same thing. You're going to leave this area with no adhesive because we're going to stick our coral back there and our seagrass. So again, I'm going to just put some at the bottom here, and then I'm going to adhere that to the card base. Okay. Just like that. It's coming along, right? Okay. Now, so now I didn't put all the adhesive, so I can tuck this behind here. Okay. And we're going to trim. We're going to trim some of this off. So I could get my coral there. That's all you want to do with the coral. Okay. So, and then the seagrass, we're just going to slip in behind wherever you want to place them. I'm going to put this a little higher, maybe like that. Okay. So that's how we're creating this. And then you just want to adhere everything down. Maybe this one, I think I got a medium. Yeah, this is the one I want. Just like that. So that's basically how you put that together. Adhere everything down, trim off the side, and that's all it was. So let's start over. Let's get a little adhesive on the back of our starfish so that could stay down. Just like that. Okay, let's pull these out. And so what I would do is I would just put some dots of liquid adhesive, just a little bit at the bottom. I would not cover this all in adhesive. So I would just do like this, just put some dots. Okay. Then I would and then I'm going to put a little, let's put some adhesive on this. We're going to just stick this one in wherever we could. Just like that. And we'll stick this one in the front. Now, so there you have your card made. Now you're going to flip it over, and anything that is off to the side there, you're going to trim. Right? I think I need a little bit more adhesive. It's not sticking down. I need to figure out what parts. I'm going to put some glue. Now that I have it together, the pieces that I see are not sticking down, I can then go ahead and put some glue on. Just like that. Or you could just use this with your dry adhesive tape runner. And it's also cute if some of them are sticking up and not stuck down. Okay. So now what we want to do is adhere this to the front of our card base. So adorable. And now we're going to take our crab and we're going to pop it up. going to put our crab. And this card is finished after a few gems. And for here, I took some of these. All right. Card number 2 is finished. What do you think? Loving it? I do. I do. Anything that has to do with the beach, the ocean, seafood, my favorite food. All right. Card 2 is finished. We are moving on to card 3. Let me just clean up a little bit. All right. So here's our one little lonely little starfish. And here's all of our beautiful pieces. All right, no stamping on the inside. So this is an easy card. We are going to take our bottom layer. Actually, let's not put it on our, should we put it on our card base? Yeah, let's put it on our card base. Okay, so let's just get this one down. I usually like to assemble and then put my bases down, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Now, I want to grab the water dots or whatever you want to call those bubbles. And if you notice on the top portion of the card, just stamp a whole bunch randomly. Doesn't matter where they end up because I'm just basically using this back color as water, like as an underwater scene. So just take this, they have one that has 2 drops and one that has 3. So on this card, I'm using 3. So just randomly put them around, kind of sticking to the top, you know, from the mid to the top section of the card. Let's see, we'll put one more here. I think that's good. Let's put another one. No, that's good. Okay. I think that's the only stamp. Oh, thanks so much. We need our, I'm using the perennial postage die again for this. This is the smaller one. I'm going to stamp thanks so much. And we can put this away. Okay, so we're going to take, oh, how beautiful is this? How beautiful is that? I hope this camera does that justice. So this is from the 24-25 Shimmer cardstock pack. I think it's Summer Splash. It is Summer Splash. And to me, it perfectly pairs with Coastal Cabana. So, hey, Renee, thank you. All right, so what are we doing here? I was getting sidetracked by beautiful colors. All right, this just goes here, just like that. So again, if you're just joining me, you can pick up this card kit on my website after today. I have to wait till my class posts before I could put it for sale because I need this video to put the link on my tutorial. So if you go to my website right now, it's there, but it says coming soon. All right, what I want to do now is I left just a smidge, okay, not adhered down because again, I want to poke my coral behind there and I don't need this pushed down very far, okay, just till it clears the card. Like right about there would be good. Okay, so I'm going to put some adhesive. This time I'm going to delicately, I'm not going to use that because that you have to push down. I'm going to put some more ink, adhesive on this. I want it to stick a little bit more. But again, this is delicate, and I feel if I go over it with my tape runner, I don't want to rip it. Okay, let's see how that goes. I know, right? I was getting distracted by the pretty paper. It happens to the best of us. All right, I want to just hold that up a minute, just because my nails get in the way all the time, these damn nails. All right, perfect. And you can see my my glue, but that's okay because it dries clear. Okay, we're good, we're good, we're good. Sometimes you just got to flip it over and rub it down. Okay, yay. All right, now we're going to take this strip, and what I'm going to do is seal that off, okay? Right over top, just to cover that seam. Beautiful. All right, moving on, we are going to take our Thanks So Much. Pop that up in the lower corner there. And just like that. Then we are going to take our crabbies, put some foam on them. Let's see how we're going to put those. So I want the blue one like there, and the red one. It's going to overlap the sentiment just a little, just like that. Perfect. Okay. Adorable. I love it. All right, our little starfish. Gonna put a little dot of glue. And of course, if you want to jazz these cards up more, you know, do you. Go for it. Whatever you like. Use my design and add to it. And you have the tutorial, so then you can recreate cards with different papers, right? Maybe not make it so colorful if you're going for a different look. Okay, are we finished? No, we need to add a few of our sunny day dots again. We're going to use a big one up top. Love it. All right, there is card 3. Don't forget your inside and your envelopes. Let's move on to card 4 and our final card. I am under an hour so far. It is my goal to finish this class in an hour, but that won't happen. Okay, 4th and final card. Love this card. All right, so we're going to bring in and do our embossing folder. Where's all our bits and pieces? And I have my embossing machine out so I can show you the Stampin' Up! How to do a 3D embossed folder. So I hope it fits in the camera view. I'll lift up my camera for a moment. Let's just do that first. Let's just do that first. So here is the piece that we are going to use that 3D embossing folder on, if I can find it. So I want to show you the right way to do these, because if not, you will eat up and ruin your machine. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Stacy, where did I? Here it is. Okay. So this is that embossing folder. All right, look at that. So I want my waves going this way. So I'm not going to put my papering straight down, because then my waves would be going up and down. I want my waves sideways. So I'm going to put my paper in here, okay? And you always want your Stampin' Up! Logo facing you. Okay, so I have my paper in here. Now, I'm going to do this on my Stampin' Up! cut and emboss machine. So these are the plates you need when you're going to do 3D embossing. You need your cutting plate 1 and cutting plate 4. That's it. And all you do is sandwich between these two and run it through your machine. But I want to tell you the proper way. So I'm going to talk you through this, but I'll bring my machine in just so you can see. Let's make sure you can see. Okay. So I'm going to keep it off to the side. Let me see if I can go higher. Hold on. Okay, that's good. Let me keep my camera right here just so you can see. Because I want you to see this so you do it the right way. So here is my plate 1. I have my embossing folder and then my plate 4. But you have to make sure that the direction you're running, so mine is going to go through my machine this way. You have to make sure the sealed part of your embossing folder is the first part going in. Do not have the opening. See the opening? The opening cannot go through first. You'll ruin your embossing folders. So always do that. I actually, a friend of mine had borrowed mine and it's totally fine, but the top of my embossing folder is all chewed up here because she put it through the wrong way. So you want to make sure the sealed part is always running through first. All right, sorry I went on a little bit about that, but this machine is like butter. I don't use it for my die cuts because I like to use my my automatic, but I do love it for these 3D embossings. Okay. Look at that. It is amazing. Love it. So that's the embossed. And the other side is the debossed. So a lot of people like to ink this side, but there's lots of different ways. But I'm using the embossed side where it's raised up. Love that. Look at that. I'm getting lost again. All right. Focus. Okay. Let me bring my card in. Okay. And here's our bits and pieces. We're going to cut our coral again. All right. So I did my stamping. Okay, so this was my piece of crumb cake that I had, and I ran through that wave die. Let me show it to you. Here it is. So the wave die, I just ran it in my machine like that, if you notice. Okay, and then when I ran that through my machine, that's what I got. Okay, so we're going to use this. I could have teared, right? Like on the other card we teared, but I did want to show you how you can make the wave using the thin cut. But again, if you don't have those thin cuts, that's just another way for you to make waves. This is garbage. You can throw that out. I just wanted to save it to show you. Okay, so that's for that. This is our base for our card. Then this layer is going to go with our wave and our coral. We need to cut our coral again because we need, as you can see, I have 2 pieces of coral on my card. So all you want to do is cut your coral in half. So you have 2 pieces now. So there's our coral. And so again, this is optional. You don't have to do this, but if you notice, because I have that other stamp set, Seaside Wishes. So you might have a sand stamp in your stash or something similar with a cluster of dots. All I did was dot around there just to make like some sand, right? And then I heat embossed with gold embossing powder, Hello Friend. But for this card, I'm just going to stamp it. And like I said, I'm going to use Early Espresso. So I'm going to first stamp Hello Friend in the bottom corner. And then I'm going to use my crumb cake ink for the sand. So if you don't have this stamp set, then just use whatever you have in your stash. or just skip this step and you don't have to do this. Oh, look at how high my camera is now because I was doing the embossing machine. Let me bring this back down. All right. I was like, darn it, it's so high. Okay, there we go. You can see better now. Okay, so let's adhere these two pieces together. I will say this stuff is super sticky, super sticky. Okay, this just has a little bit of 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So I kind of like to line it up first, keeping my finger underneath before I commit and put it down. Okay, now this crumb cake is exactly the size of my card base. So that's just gonna cover my card base. So let's put some adhesive here. And if you remember, the ones that have been following me for a long time, the way I do this, so to perfectly get it lined up, I hold this in my hands like this, and then I hold my card base, right? And I'm shimmying till I get it connected. Perfect, perfect. All the time, nothing showing. That's how you do it. Kind of shimmy, shimmy, shimmy until you get it lined up and against it and lay it down. Okay, so now this layer is going to go on top of there. Love these colors together. Make sure your card's open in the right way. This, I think I have about 1/4 of an inch peeking through, right? Okay, so now what we want to do is we're going to adhere our sentiment sand layer right at the bottom there. Again, we're going to leave a little bit. We're not going to put adhesive along the top because we need to poke our coral in there. So that's how that's going to look, just like that. So let's get some adhesive just along the bottom edge. And this is the same size as the white layer, so just line it up perfectly there, just like that. And now you're going to get your coral to be poking out. Why is that piece not sticking? Hold on, did I not? Oh, that's fine. Let me put a little bit of glue. It's not sticking right there. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to try the coral with my tape. But how I'm going to do this is I'm really going to hold it down stiff and just put a little bit so I don't rip anything. Okay. And I'm going to put one there, and then this one. There we go. I have some glue. Okay, get that out of there. Okay, get out of there. Okay, cute, just like that. All right, now we are going to, let's do our crab. So the crab's going to be adhered straight down, and look, I put the cute little feet like poked, so it's like coming out of the sand, just like that. So let's get adhesive on the crab. So he's just going straight down. Just like that. And then we are going to pop up our lobster here. piece. Come on, Stacy, can you do it? Can I do it? Definitely not making an hour. What time is it? In 1 minute, it's an hour. But if I take away like the 5 minutes that I talked in the beginning showing you the product, I would say I did it in an hour then, right? All right. So we're going to put Louis Lobster right here, just like so. For this, I used gold gems. I don't know why. I just had them left over in my paper pumpkin box. So, and I thought they went nice, but here I would have used the Calypso Coral if I had, you know, if I wanted to, but I just thought these were pretty. These are actually beautiful gold gems. Again, they were in I think it was a paper pumpkin box or one of my kits. So I wanted to use these. I don't know. This is one of my favorite cards. I just think this whole kit is my favorite. I really love it. So this is my 11th kit. Like I said in the beginning, my 11th card class, because next month will be 1 year that I'm with Stampin' Up! From transitioning over from Close to My Heart, and I started doing card classes right away. It's something I've always wanted to jump into, and so yeah, so this is my 11th one, and I have to say this might be my favorite class. Next month I am going to be doing, I ordered new product from the catalog, so I got my next 3 card classes coming up. And the next one I really like. So actually they're all going to be like summery and beach themed. So 2 out of my 3, actually all 3 classes are going to be. All right. So let's go over our cards again. Here was card 1. Why am I crooked? Card 1. This was card 2. Card 3. And card 4. So I hope you enjoyed this class. Also, I wanted to mention, I'm sure everybody has heard everything going around on Facebook that live videos are only kept for 30 days now, which means Facebook's going to automatically delete this video after 30 days. I'm actually going to do a live in my private group. So ladies that are part of my private group, I'm going to be going live in a little while today. You'll see me just talking about some things and some changes with Stampin' Up! Because the rewards program starts next week. But videos, any live video I do will also be taken down by Facebook in 30 days. So all you need to do is go to YouTube, Crafty Diva USA. On social, I use the same for everything, my email, my website. So Crafty Diva USA, this is my Facebook page. You'll see I'm starting to have an overlay now. But anyway, all of my classes, after I do them, I put up here any video I do. So if you go through, like here is last month's class, the terrific toadstools. Here is the class before that, the my beautiful butterflies. Keep going. Here's January. I did I forgot the name of that, birthday celebrations, and then this was the Hearts of Elegance. So all of my videos and classes are on my YouTube channel once I finish the live on Facebook. So not to worry, and I have been doing that since I came over to Stampin' Up! So if you go back, you'll find my first card class, because before that I didn't use my YouTube channel. It was right here. Here you go, 10 months ago, because then look, 2 years ago. So this is when I started. Here's my first class, right? I did the coffee. I did, here's, oh, I don't want to play it. And then this was, oh, there was the Seaside Wishes I was showing you using, there, that was my Seaside Wishes class using this set. So a lot of my content is all on YouTube. You just got to subscribe, and it's Crafty Diva USA. So I wanted to make sure I showed that because of the change with Facebook. So anything that I do, you'll always be able to find there. All right. Thanks, Susan. I think this is a fun kit. I think anyone who picks it up is going to love it. Again, all of these products are on last chance because they were an online exclusive that came out in March last month. And every 2 months, we get new online exclusives. So remember, the catalog is So the new catalog's coming out and it's very basic. There's not much in the catalog. Stampin' Up! Is going to be moving away from catalogs. It's more, the catalog is going to be more of their basic crafting supplies. What you have to remember is every month kits come out and every other month online exclusives come out. Online exclusives are the great bundles with lots of coordinating products. So if you don't know where to go look on the website, you're not going to find that. So you need to go to online exclusives. And let me tell you, I just did pre-order and I ordered my next 3 classes and only one of them is coming out of the catalog. My next 2 classes are going to be the online exclusives that drop in May, because the online exclusives are so much nicer than what's in the catalog, because it's a lot, it's more like advanced crafting supplies, I would say. So make sure you check out the online exclusives, and you'll see them anyway in my next few months. Card kits. So, all right, that's it. I'm actually going to do a live for my friends that are in my group. You'll see me pop on soon. I'm going to talk about the rewards and I'm going to talk about some more stuff. So hope everybody has a wonderful Saturday. Have a great crafting day. And if you hung out with me for the whole time, I appreciate you. All right, everyone, take care. And don't forget, if you're catching me on the replay on YouTube, make sure you hit subscribe so you do not miss any of my content that I put out. Bye now.